This morning I woke up to a gorgeous, deliciously cloudy day. It's been a couple of quite hot weeks, so it's really nice to have a cloudy day for a change where there's that tiny breeze. The sun is still coming out, it hides behind the cloud, then it will come back out. So it sounds like a perfect day to spend reading. I've got a fresh cup of tea and no plans for the day, so I think I'm going to sit down and select a book to read, and we're going to spend the whole day just reading. Doesn't it sound like the perfect day? Okay, I got ready for the day, and we are here to choose the book I'm going to read. I have here part of my August TBR and some books I'm in the middle of, some books I'm in the mood for. So let's go through these and pick the book we're going to read today. First on the stack is If Not For My Baby by Kate Golden. This book, I'm so happy I have it in my hands because I've struggled to find the copy, and the only one I could find was at the Piccadilly Waterstones in London, literally the biggest bookshop in Europe. So yeah, this was hard to find, and it was the only copy there as well. I feel like maybe looking at the cover, there are some fall leaves. Maybe it's best read in the autumn, in the fall. I don't really know, but all I know about it is that it is a rock star romance, and our female main character, Clementine, is a singer, and I think she follows our male main character on tour as a backup singer, and that just sounds so interesting to me. Ali Hazelwood has a quote on the front, and she says, "Sensual, poetic, and full of delicious, excruciating yearning," which I adore. I love yearning, and we need to bring it back. I think it's coming back. I feel like we are bringing back yearning. But that is the first option. Then I have Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home by Jessa Hastings. I really, really miss Jessa Hastings' writing. And I cannot wait to continue this series. Honestly, I loved the first book. I'm a Daisy girly though, so Daisy Hates was definitely my favorite so far. That was a 5-star for me. It is a book that lives rent-free in my mind. 100%. This is the second Magnolia Parks, third book in the series if we count Daisy Hates, right? And I've heard that it's better to read Magnolia Parks 2 and Daisy Hates 2 as a tandem read because they take place in the same timeline, so there's a lot of overlapping of events. I think I would like to do that. I have downloaded a tandem read guide. Problem is, this book is thick. It is, let me check, but I think it's like 400 pages long. Yeah, it's literally over 500 pages. 524 pages. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the font is quite small. So maybe not this one, because I have to consider the fact that I'm leaving for a weekend trip this weekend to the south of France, and I have planned a whole video for when I'm there with different books. So I need to pick a book that I can potentially finish in the next 2 days. Today is Thursday, and tomorrow night I'm taking the night train to go to the south of France. So I need to be a tiny bit realistic. Next I have Retro by Jessica M. Goldstein. I bought this book in my last video when I went for a book crawl, and honestly I do not regret it because I have already started reading it. I'm on page 128. and I have been loving this book. It is so quirky, so witty, so refreshingly honest. I honestly love the writing style and the story it's taking me on, the trip it's taking me on is so fun and also kind of insane, but at the same time, it feels like it could be a reality. In this book, we follow Ash, who is an aspiring actor, and she has been waiting her whole life to get the part, you know, the part that would change everything, but she hasn't really gotten it yet. And so now she's working at a job in administration that she finds really boring. And the story starts basically when she gets fired from her current job in administration and starts spiraling until one day when she's scrolling on social media, she gets an ad from this company that does recreational time traveling. They bring the general public on trips and voyages to the past. She gets an ad for this company because they are hiring. She randomly sends in her application and she gets the job. So now she is one of the travel agents of Retro, this company that goes back in time. Insane. The other book I'm in the middle of is Homebound by Portia Elan. I don't really know. This is a literary sci-fi. I love the cover, the whole reason I bought it. Well, the other books we saw too, kind of. I've also started this one. I'm 104 pages in, and honestly, the beginning of this book was confusing. It felt a bit word salady, and I couldn't really wrap my hands around it. I don't know if it's because I was not really up for the challenge at that moment. I was quite exhausted. So, yeah, I don't know if it's because of that or because it truly is difficult to grasp. But I had a hard time at the beginning. We follow many different POVs who live and operate on many different timelines. So this is quite an ambitious novel, and I still have to wrap my hand around how all the timelines will come together, because I know they will. 100 pages in, you do understand the world building. I was beginning to make sense of things, but I just decided to put it down because I thought that, I was not in the right mental space. And when I'm not in the right mental space for a book, I end up not liking it as much as I could. And I think I'm ready to pick it back up, but I honestly just want to continue reading Retro. I got really sucked into the story. This book is just under 400 pages, so it's realistic as to the timeline I have. So yeah, I think we're gonna sit down and read this. So the point I'm at, Ash is on her second or third week of work. She is just trying to make sense of things still, and she is trying to, adapt to this new and kind of weird workplace where she has a lot of questions that don't get answered per se, and the people in charge kind of evade a lot of her questions that are very important, like security questions and personal private information kind of questions. So this book raises a lot of question marks about, personal data and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, once she got the job, Ash moves to Virginia, where the headquarters of Retro are. She moves there because all travel agents get their own Retro apartment. So the company created this residence building for all its travel agents, and each apartment is designed based on a different era of the past. So, for example, her own apartment is 1920s inspired, and it's not just inspired, it's literally they went back to the past, to the 1920s, and brought a bunch of furniture in the present to, you know, decorate and furnish her apartment. She also has a closet full of 1920s apparel and clothes, so that's really fun. But yeah, she spends her first day just following the head of HR around, showing her all these different departments and explaining a few key things about traveling to the past. And then she's had her first trip to the past, where it was like a happy hour to meet all her new colleagues and so on. And something key happens at this happy hour. That's very fun. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's very critical and fun as a reader. And now she is currently preparing for her first trip to the past as a travel agent. She's bringing Brianna and her bachelorette party to the Wild West. And what's so fun is that there is a map of the metro system they use to travel to the past. And so you can reference back to this whenever they mention a trip to the past. That's really fun. But yeah, basically they have these trains that they don't want to call trains, they are called conveyors, that will travel through time and space to reach a specific past destination. So you can literally pick whatever event or whatever time or whatever, you know, whatever thing you want to experience and see, and just go there. So yeah, that sounds really fun. Like, if you could travel to the past, where would you go? So I'm starting at page 128. Let's see how much I can read today. Okay, it's been a few hours actually. I had lunch and I took a nap, a power nap, because who's gonna stop me? And I kept reading, and I love this book. I love this book. I got to page 206, which, according to Fable, that means I'm 51% into the book, and which means I read 78 pages. I prepared my bag to go at the park to keep reading there and possibly stop by a coffee shop to get a matcha because I'm falling asleep for some reason. The park I'm actually at is not at all the park I wanted to go to, but I got lost and then I realized that the other one was too far away, and I found this. I stumbled upon this little square that's very cute. There's a lot of kids playing, there's lots of birds that were singing just before, so it's very cute. So I sat down in the shade and read for a bit, and I just realized that time slipped away from me. It's now 5:40 almost, so there is no way I can go to the coffee shop I wanted to go to because it closes at 6. So I will have to go grab a drink somewhere else, but that's fine. I will bring you to that coffee shop another time. It's one of my favorite ones. in the area that is walking distance, even if it's quite a long walk. But I really like it because it's like one of those newer, very stylish, tiny coffee shop that do very good matcha. So yeah, we'll go another day. But obviously I've been reading retro. That's the whole point of this video, right? I've found myself very immersed into this story, and it's taking a turn that I did not expect, actually, in a positive way. So I told you I got to 51%, so I hit the halfway mark, and that's where things are kind of changing and shifting, because our girl Ash is completely adjusted to her new job. She's gone to several trips to the past, and now she's also taking trips, like personal trips with her colleagues. They're going to the past for their lunch breaks, and during their weekends they will hop on a conveyor and go to the Roaring Twenties for a party on a Saturday night. So they're doing all these things obviously together as colleagues, but it's like they have been traveling back and forth to the past a lot, and some things are starting to happen where Ash will realize that, she had a scar and it moved, because she got a scar in the past in one of her trips, and the scar she had before is not there anymore, and she kind of realizes that some of her memories are shifting or disappearing, or she takes a longer while to recollect some details and stuff. It's something that's mentioned on the blurb, so I was expecting it to happen, but it's happening in a way that I didn't expect, because I'm so immersed into this story and in Ash's POV that I didn't even realize the switch was happening. Everything was so well written that I feel like I experienced the shift with Ash, and so I kind of realized what was happening a bit too late. I adore that, in the sense that I just adore when a book is written in such an immersive way that you as the reader don't even realize something is happening until it's so explicitly happening that the main character has to accept it and realize it him or herself. I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but that's what's happening in this book, and I love it. I like every single character. I feel like there's some weird stuff going on, but we're not allowed to know yet because Ash doesn't know yet, and they are about to bring her into that. I feel like there's a lot more camaraderie now between her and the side characters, her colleagues, the other travel agents, and the other people who work at Retro in general. So I can't wait to see all of that and what's happening there. But I honestly haven't read a lot at the park. I read 45 pages because I kept getting kind of distracted by the birds and the kids, and when I'm filming a video I read slower, and I already read very slowly. I usually average around 50 pages an hour, so yeah, I'm quite a slow reader, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. I like to really savor my books and the writing and underline quotes, but yeah, sometimes I wish I could read a bit faster so that I could crank more books in a month, but yeah, it's whatever, it's completely fine. I'm going to wrap this up, walk back to my neighborhood and go to a coffee shop there. Hopefully I can get a nice drink. I don't know if I will take a matcha because I woke up with that walk. I kind of want a warmer drink, not an iced one. It's perfect temperatures today here in Paris. It's 25 degrees Celsius, so that's perfection. But yeah, we'll see. Let's walk back home and choose what to do. actually at one of those health-centered coffee shops. Usually it's full of people just working on their laptops, so yeah, I love that I'm not the only one doing that when I come here, and it puts less pressure on me, even for filming, because otherwise sometimes it can be embarrassing, and it's big enough that I don't have to worry about people being too close to me or looking at me or whatever. I got a chicory coffee because I didn't want to put caffeine in my system. It's a bit too late in the day. I don't really drink coffee, so when I do, yeah, it really affects me. So I got a chicory coffee and a cookie, as you saw, that was black chocolate and what was it? Black chocolate and almond or some kind of nut. It was very good. It was still warm, just freshly out of the oven. Heavenly. And I sat down and read for, I want to say 45 minutes. And then I ordered dinner. I decided to treat myself to dinner. So I ordered one of their toasts, which doesn't look like much, but it's so good. It is a Parmesan Caesar chicken sandwich. It is so good. And then I got a Living Things little soda. This is a biotic soda, so you have pre and probiotic. And this is a raspberry taste, which I really love. So I'm gonna pop this open, eat, and then keep reading. In terms of the book, I am at page 250 and I plan on getting to page 300 so that I know that for sure I'm going to be able to finish it tomorrow, right? Because it's 390 odd pages. It's getting better and better. I don't even know how this is possible. I don't think it is quite a 5-star because I get lost at points, and I don't know if it's because I'm reading outside and I'm a bit distracted, but sometimes I have to reread the whole page because I'm reading with my eyes and not with my brain. So I think it's a me problem, but I really, really love the writing. I think that the second half will really determine if it is a 5-star or not, because honestly it does feel a little bit like a 5-star. I'm really interested, I'm really involved with the characters, I feel like, and invested in the story. I feel like I'm there with them and I want to experience everything they are experiencing. I don't know, we'll see how I feel about the second half, because the first half was just incredible, getting to know the characters, but also see how Retro as a company works and how they operate and what they do, and like all these issues that could come up, all these questions that don't get answered properly. I knew I would love it, and it is giving me everything that Yesteryear didn't give me. Everything I expected from Yesteryear, and that book did not give me. I think because it was marketed the wrong way, at least for me. If you read it, you know. This one, they really do travel to past timelines, and it's very fun. At the same time, there is a lot of questions that get asked but not answered. So it's very thrilling also in that sense, because the whole time you feel like there's something that's wrong, that there's something that could at least go wrong, but no one is addressing. This book touches on different themes, like the hypocritical general vibe of the modern world, of the internet and social media, the feeling of feeling nostalgic for something that we have never actually lived, idolizing the past, the uselessness that we might feel in our lives, especially if we don't fulfill the expectations we set upon ourselves. There's a lot that's talked about, and Ash as our main character is the perfect conveyor for all of this, because she is an aspiring actress who never got her big chance, her big role, and so she feels as if she failed, but now she feels like she found purpose in this new job because she has to basically act. Whenever they go to the past, they have to wear what the people, the locals of that timeline were wearing. Clothes, makeup, hair, everything needs to be exactly how it was in the past. They need to talk a certain way, they need to act a certain way. She acts, basically. There is a lot that is packed into this book, and I love it. I expected it to be a bit more sci-fi, but it's very literary, and it's exactly what I needed at this point in time. At the point we're at in the narration, actually, something is going on between Ash and a resident of the past, which I didn't think we were going there, but it's happening, and it's funny because it raises even more questions, like social commentary and morality type questions. And also something is going on between her and a co-worker in the present, both from the present timeline. And he is such a yearner. We barely see what he does for her and how he feels about her, but when we do, we see that he is a yearner. So I'm hoping to see more of him and her. I stopped at a very pivotal chapter, I feel like, where she's having lunch with the CEO of this company, aka the person who invented time traveling, who discovered how it works. And he is, from the beginning, he has been weirdly invested in her. No one knows why. So I'm curious to see what he has to say about that. He was about to reveal it, and then the chapter ended, so I really want to go on. First, I'm going to eat, and then we will continue reading. My fiance is away. He's coming home later tonight, so I decided to treat myself to dinner. Let's eat and then continue reading. I'm so, like, this book is sucking me in. I cannot stop reading. Back home, as you can see, I had such a good dinner and such a good time reading at that coffee shop at the park. It was perfect temperatures out today. Also, the weather escalated very nicely, deliciously cloudy in the morning and almost chilly, but then the sun came out. There was a big blue sky, so I'm really happy. Kind of like my perfect day. I had such a great time reading this book today. I think it's been one of my favorite reading days I've had so far this whole year, probably, but this summer 100% for sure. I also spent a whole day reading A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas the other day, but that was more just like to finish it, whereas this was a whole new discovery, you know? So I don't know, I loved today, and I'm hoping to have a repeat tomorrow. I will be editing this video, but otherwise reading the whole day. So what is the final page count for today? It's only 8:35 p.m. so I'm going to keep reading tonight, but right now I am on page 272, so that means I'm very close to my goal of getting to page 300. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure if I remember the starting page correctly, but I believe it was 128. I'm very bad at math, so let me calculate that. That makes it 244 pages. On a normal day, I usually read 100 pages, between 50 and 100 pages based on the amount of time I have available, but the fact that I read 244 pages in one day, well, It's a testament to how much I'm enjoying this book, first of all. But anyways, those are the stats for the day. We read 244 pages, which I counted, it's 23 chapters. The chapters in this book are so well structured. Some are they are all quite short. Some are like 7 pages long, some are 2 pages long, but they are quite well structured. It makes sense for a chapter to be a bit longer than another, but I love books with short chapters. That's also why I ate it up. I feel like I read quicker when the chapters are shorter. But anyway, back to the stats. 244 pages, 23 chapters, and that means we got to 68% of the book. I plan on reading more tonight, but really enjoyed spending today reading this book. Let me know if you've heard of it. Let me know if this video inspired you to pick it up. I'm feeling like 4.5, 4.75 stars vibes right now, but it could become a 5-star based on how it ends and based on how much I'm thinking about it in the following weeks. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe. I hope you enjoy my style of vlogs. They are honestly designed to be under-stimulating. That's why the soft voice, that's why the real world original video sounds, that's why I do minimal editing. I want my channel to be a slow paced sort of corner of the internet where you can relax, honestly, watching my videos and not be overstimulated, kind of come back to the real world after maybe a day online. So that is my goal. I hope it comes through. And if you're here from my ASMR channel, I hope this is a good continuation of your experience with me, and hopefully we can spend some good quality time together. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. You are loved, and I will see you next week.